The night was cold, the streets half empty, and the neon lights of restaurants flickered like fading stars. People rushed inside warm cars, eager to get home, while she walked quietly along the sidewalk, clutching a small paper bag close to her chest. Inside the bag were leftover scraps from the diner where she had been allowed to clean tables in exchange for a few bites of food. Her jacket was thin, her shoes worn, but her eyes held a resilience that spoke louder than her circumstances. She didn't notice the black luxury car pulling up at the traffic light beside her, nor the curious eyes of a young boy staring out the window. The boy tugged his father's sleeve and whispered, "Daddy, it's her." And in that moment, the life of a forgotten woman and a powerful man were about to collide in a way no one could have imagined. Sparkles, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us of the unseen struggles around us, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Hidden Hearts. Your support helps us share more true-to-life stories that touch souls. She had once been someone different, bright, ambitious, and full of dreams. But life had not been gentle. A sudden illness had taken her mother, debt had consumed the little savings she had, and the jobs she tried to hold slipped away one after another. With no one to turn to, she found herself cleaning tables, collecting leftovers, and clinging to dignity in a world that seemed blind to her existence. Each night she walked the long way home, making sure no one saw her carrying the bag. She hated the shame, but she couldn't let herself starve. And yet, through all of it, there was a softness in her soul that refused to die. Inside the car sat Adrian, a man known to the world as a successful businessman, but to his son Noah, simply, Dad. Adrian was tired of boardrooms, deals, and the endless chase of wealth, but he never ignored Noah. That evening, however, his son's words startled him. "It's her," Noah repeated, eyes wide, pressing his hand against the glass. Adrian looked out and saw the woman, her thin frame, her trembling hands holding the bag, the quiet grace in the way she carried herself. She seemed fragile, yet unbroken. Something stirred in him. He remembered that face, not clearly, but faintly, from years ago. Long ago, before his empire, Adrian had been a struggling student, too poor to afford much. There had been a girl who once lent him her notes, shared her meal when he had none, and encouraged him when he nearly dropped out. He had lost contact, but he had never forgotten her kindness. And now, seeing this woman, carrying leftovers under the harsh streetlights, he felt his chest tighten. Could it be her? The car slowed, and Noah's voice grew insistent. "Daddy, please, she's the lady I saw last week near school. She gave her sandwich to a homeless man instead of eating it herself." "It's her." Adrian's heart throbbed with a strange mix of shame and awe. His wealth, his power, none of it mattered compared to the quiet sacrifice of a woman who had nothing yet gave what little she had. He ordered the driver to stop, stepped out, and approached her. At first, she froze, worried she had done something wrong. But when Adrian softly called her name, her eyes widened in shock. She remembered him. She remembered the boy who had once sat beside her in class, struggling with life, whom she had helped without expecting anything in return. Now, here he was, no longer the boy she knew, but a man surrounded by success. Her voice trembled as she tried to hide the bag behind her. "It's nothing, just leftovers," she whispered, ashamed. But Noah ran up to her, smiling, and took her hand. "Daddy says thank you," he said innocently, as though he had already understood what his father couldn't yet put into words. The night unfolded into something unexpected. Adrian invited her into the car, and though hesitant, she agreed. For the first time in years, she sat somewhere warm, somewhere she felt seen. They drove to a restaurant, not for leftovers, but for a meal she didn't have to hide. She ate slowly, still unsure if this was real, but Adrian's eyes never left her. He saw the quiet strength, the scars of hardship, and the kindness that had never left her heart. In the days that followed, Adrian offered her a chance, not charity, but dignity. He arranged a job at his company, a safe place for her to rebuild, and support for her to continue her studies. She resisted at first, afraid of pity, but Adrian assured her this wasn't repayment. This was recognition. "The world needs more people like you," he said. Over time, she blossomed again, no longer the woman carrying scraps in the dark but someone walking into the light with her head held high. Noah adored her, often saying she was the kindest person he had ever met. And Adrian, who had once thought wealth was his greatest triumph, discovered that true riches were found in kindness, humility, and second chances. Sparkles, if this story touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Hidden Hearts. Stories like these remind us that every act of kindness, no matter how small, can change the course of a life forever. Speech balloon, before you go, we'd love to hear from you. Do you believe a single act of kindness can return to you in unexpected ways? Share your thoughts in the comments below.